So students, I'm going to discuss about the topic population growth from chapter number 2, world population distribution, density and growth. Okay. And this chapter is from the book, the Human Geography. So here we are going to discuss today, what does the term population growth basically refers to? Okay. And how do we measure population growth? Okay. See. The population growth or population change, it refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a territory during a specific period of time. Okay, so population growth or population change basically refers to the change in the number of inhabitants. Okay, it basically refers to the change in the number of people living in a particular geographical area between two periods of time. Like in the year 2021, what was the population of India? Okay, and in the year 2011, what was the population of India? So in between these two time periods, that is 2001 and 2011, in India, the difference between the population in between these 2 years is known as the population growth. Okay, so suppose, for example, I'm just giving an example in 2019 and 2020. Suppose in 2019, the total population was suppose 9 lakh in Siliguri. In 2020, the population became 10 lakh in Siliguri. So the difference between these 2 years, the difference in the population between these 2 years, that is 9 lakh and 10 lakh. So what is the difference? The difference is 1 lakh. Okay, that means in 1 year, in between 2019 and 2020, the population has increased 1 lakh by 1 lakh. Okay, so this is the population growth actually. But the population growth is always expressed in percentage. Okay, so we will convert this 1 lakh population, the total number of 1 lakh people, into percentage, and we will get the growth rate of population. Okay, so the population growth is always expressed in percentage. Okay, and this population growth can be positive or negative. Okay, the population growth can be positive or negative, because in many cases we see that the population increases, and in some cases we see instead of increasing, the population decreases in certain areas. Okay, so the areas where the population goes on increasing, that is known as a positive growth. But in many cases, instead of population increasing, the population decreases, that is known as the negative growth of population. Okay, see. So the population growth or population change basically refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a territory during a specific period of time. Okay, so try to understand these 3 lines actually. So population growth or population change is referred to the change in the number of inhabitants, that is the number of people of a territory, that means of a particular place, during specific period of time. And here the specific period of time is 2019 and 2020 actually. That means in between 1 year. Okay, so this change can be positive as well as negative, and it can be expressed either in terms of absolute numbers or in terms of percentage. Okay, so this change, okay, this growth rate, the growth of population can be expressed in absolute number or in percentage. Okay, so absolute number means when I am saying that the population has increased by this number of people, so that is the absolute number. But when I am converting this number of people into percentage, so that is the growth rate of percentage. Okay, so the population change in an area is an important indicator of economic development, social upliftment, historical and cultural background of the region. Okay, so the population change in an area is an important indicator of economic development. Okay, it is an indicator of the social upliftment. It is an indicator of historical and the cultural background. Basically, in any particular geographical area, the population changes, that is the population increase or decrease, okay, because of certain factors. And in many cases, and actually in most of the cases, we find that the population increases, and in exceptional cases, the population decreases. Okay, so because of economic development, the population growth is going to take place. Because of social development, the population will grow. Okay, because of historical and the cultural background, the population will grow, isn't it? So basically, this population change in a particular area, it shows, it reflects the economic status, economic development of a place. Okay, social upliftment of a place, as well as the historical and the cultural background of a region actually. Okay, so there are some important terms which we need to know, or which we need to learn. Okay, regarding which is very related with population growth actually. Okay, and some of the like these terms, or you can say some of the basic concepts. Okay, so some basic concepts of population geography or population is the growth of population, the growth rate of population, the natural growth of population, positive growth of population, and negative growth of population. Okay, so these are the different terms which we need to know, and we are going to discuss about this. Okay, so population growth, I have already said. Okay, so this population growth is also known as the growth of population. Okay, so as said now only, that what is population growth or growth of population? The change of population in particular area between 2 points of time is known as growth of population. For example, if we deduct the population of India, okay, in the year 2001 from the population of India in the year 2011, then we shall get the growth of around 18.5 crores in the actual number. Okay, so in 2001, the total population of India was 102.7 crore, and in 2011, the total population of India was 121.02 crore. So now, if I subtract the total population of India in 2001 from the total population of India in 2011, I find out I have got this answer that 18.5 million was the actual increase in the number of people. So this is the growth of population. Okay, and this growth of population has been expressed in absolute number. But when I will express this in percentage, okay, when I will express convert this in percentage actually, okay, in terms of total population, then it will be known as the growth rate of population. Okay, so what is growth rate of population? Growth rate of population, okay, is actually the change of population expressed in percentage. Okay, means when there is a change in the population and which is expressed in percentage, actually that is known as the growth rate of population. So basically, we always take into consideration the growth rate of population. We always take help of growth rate of percentage to explain the population growth. We does not take help of the actual number, the total number actually, okay, but we take help of the percentage. Okay, that is the growth rate of population. The next, now see, now the another question which comes in our mind is that the population growth, the population is increasing. That means in between this 10 year from 2001 to 2011, there is an increase of 18.15 crore people. Fine. So why this people has increased? Okay, what may be the cause of this increase in the population actually? Okay, and this increase of population may have taken place because of natural or because of induced actually. Okay, the population growth may be natural growth of population or it may be induced growth of population. Okay, so what is natural growth of population? Natural growth of population basically refers to when the population increases. Okay, when the population increases because of birth rate and the death rate. Okay, because of the difference in the birth rate and the death rate, that is known as the natural growth of population. And what is induced growth of population? When the population of a particular place or a country increases or decreases because of birth rate, death rate, and the migration. And the migration may be in migration and the out migration. So first here you see the natural growth of population. So natural growth of population basically means the birth rate and the death rate. Okay. So out of this 18.15 crore actually, suppose 10 crore people has taken birth actually. Okay, 10 crore people has taken birth. Okay, and 8 crore people has 1 crore people has died actually. Okay, so 10 crore people has taken birth and 1 crore people has died in this 10 years. Okay, so what is the actual number we are getting? Actual number is 9 lakh people has increased actually, because already 1 lakh has died actually. Okay, so this 9 lakh is the actual growth of population. Okay, so actual growth of population. Okay, actual growth of population basically means birth rate minus death rate. Okay, birth rate minus death rate, it basically gives the natural growth of population. Okay, natural growth of population, we get it by subtracting the death rate from the birth rate. Okay, and the actual growth of population, which is also known as the induced growth of population, basically include the birth rate minus death rate plus in migration minus out migration. That means how many child has taken birth and how many people has died, plus how many people has migrated to our country minus how many people has migrated out from our country. So suppose 20 child has taken birth, 5 people has died. So 20 minus 5, 15, plus suppose 10 people has came to our country from the other countries and 5 people has migrated from our country to other countries. So there is an addition of 5. So 15 plus 5 is equal to total 20. So total 20 people has increased in our country. Just example. So this is the actual growth of population. Okay. So natural growth of population we calculate by using the birth rate and the death rate. Okay. And actual growth of population or induced growth of population is mainly calculated by using the birth rate minus death rate plus in migration minus out migration. Is it clear? So there are other two terms which are related to this population geography, that is the positive growth of population and the negative growth of population. Okay. So what does positive growth of population mean, and what does negative growth of population basically mean actually? So in many cases, not in many cases, but you can say in most of the cases actually, we see that the population of a particular country increases. Okay, so that is the positive growth of population. And in some exceptional cases, instead of increasing, the population decreases. That is the negative growth of population. Okay, and it happened one time in our country. Okay, in one census year, it happened that instead of population increasing, there was a decrease in the population. Okay, so in that particular census year, we had a negative growth of population actually. Okay, so there are various factors responsible for negative growth of population actually. We will be discussing. So positive growth of population. So when does positive growth of population takes place actually? So this happens when the birth rate is more than the death rate between 2 points of time, or when people from other countries migrate permanently to a region. Okay, so positive growth of population basically takes place when the birth rate is more than the death rate actually. Okay, when the birth rate is more than the death rate between 2 points of time, or when many number of people they migrate from the other countries and they have settled in one country for a particular permanently actually. Like in case of our country, many people from the neighboring countries they have migrated and they have settled permanently actually. Okay, so in that case the positive growth rate will take place. Okay, so positive growth rate basically means whenever there is an increase in the population, that is positive growth, and this increase may be because of increased birth rate and in migration. On the other hand, the negative growth of population basically refers to when the population decreases between two time periods. I mean, instead of increasing, the population decreases. That is known as the negative growth rate. Okay. So if the population decreases between 2 points of time, it is known as negative growth of population. Okay. Suppose, now I'm just giving you an example. Suppose, let us take the example of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, suppose Jammu and Kashmir is the union territory. Okay, where a war between India and Pakistan has broke out. Actually. Okay, so in that war, we saw that many of the civilians has been killed. Okay, and many of the civilians they have migrated from Jammu and Kashmir to the other states and all. So in Jammu and Kashmir, what will happen actually? Because in Jammu and Kashmir, instead of population increasing, there will be a decrease in the population. So what is happening here is negative growth of population is taking place. Okay, let me give you one more example actually. Because of political wars, conflicts and all, this kind of negative growth of population takes place. Okay, and even sometimes because of natural factors also negative growth rate of population takes place. Okay, now I'm just giving you an example. Suppose now the pandemic is going on. Okay, so every day suppose 200 people are dying in the nursing home or in the hospital, and only 10 childs are taking birth. Okay, suppose there is a small city. Okay, in that small city, every day 10 childs are taking birth and 200 people are dying. So in that case, after 1 year, if the same rate goes on, after 1 year, we will find that instead of population increasing, the population has decreased actually. Why? Because the death rate was more than the birth rate and there was no migration of the people from the other place to that particular place. So in that case, there will be a negative growth of population. Okay. So negative growth rate means when the population instead of increasing, it decreases between 2 points of time. That is known as the negative growth of population. Okay. So these are the various important terms, important topics which are very much related, which are very much important part of population geography. Okay, so as we are studying about the world population distribution, density and growth, so it is very much essential to know about these basic concepts of population studies, of population geography. That is population growth, growth rate, okay, natural growth of population, actual growth of population, positive growth of population. Okay, so these are the important topics actually. So I hope you all have understood about what does this positive growth, negative growth means. Okay, what is growth rate and how do we find out the population growth in a certain place between 2 point of time?